Chile, a case of collaboration towards a sustainable value chain in the building industry. Today I'm going to talk about the Green Building Innovation Program, which is an initiative led by the Production Development Corporation, CORFO, the Ministry of Housing and Urban Development, MINVU, the Chilean Construction Chamber, and its Corporation for Technology Development, CChC, that aims to integrate sustainability among the whole value chain of the building industry through activities to build private networks, and also to promote new business models based on a circular economy perspective to improve competitiveness and entrepreneurship of firms. First of all, a little bit of background information to understand what are the impacts of the building industry in Chile. It has important economic impacts, such as the 7.8 national GDP, but it also has important environmental impacts related to energy use, to water use, and also the greenhouse gas emissions related to buildings. All these aspects have been taken in account, and there are many initiatives currently part of the general roadmap in Chile. For example, from the public sector, we have some standards for thermal performance on dwellings, some retrofitting subsidies and incentives. There is a national energy rating tool called Calificación Energética for dwellings, and a sustainable dwelling code that integrates water use and resources that are part of buildings. In Chile, there is also a national rating tool for public use buildings, which is the first rating tool developed in Chile. And also there is an important project called EcoBase, which is building materials environmental information platform that provides all the information required to assess the environmental impacts of building materials with a life cycle perspective. In Chile, we have a Green Building Council, and there is an important use of LEED certification. And also we have the first Environmental Product Declaration Program, which is DAPCO, that is leading the way towards a life cycle approach in buildings. But as we can see, we have multiple initiatives from the public and private sector, but there is a lack of coordination between them because they are all dispersed initiatives. That's why there is an intent to have an approach towards a national strategy that it's part of the multi-ministerial MOU that was an agreement between the Ministries of Energy, Environment, Public Works, and Housing and Urbanism, that they set the intention to work coordinated towards a more green construction industry. The Ministry of Housing and Urbanism is coordinating all the MOU objectives, and they have done a national strategy for sustainable building that have 4 main action lines. The first one is habitat and well-being. The second is education. The third one is innovation and competitiveness. And also there's a fourth one in governance. Specifically in innovation was created the program for innovation in the green building area, led by CORFO. So the Green Building Innovation Program seeks to articulate public and private stakeholders with the objective of capturing business opportunities that exist in the market currently. With a life cycle perspective, we are trying to get involved all the different stakeholders among the whole value chain, and with this program that have 3 main stages. The first stage is to diagnostic and value hypothesis. The second stage is the development of a common work plan, And the third stage is the implementation of this program. With these three stages, we aim to get close to a potential business opportunity that it's about $2,000 million per year in investment in green buildings, and hopefully we can get to this, that it's about 20% of edification in Chile. So the first stage was to define opportunities and which problems need to be addressed by this green innovation program. So we start by defining what we mean by sustainable construction. And it's important to consider the whole building life cycle stage, all the building life cycle stage, from planning, design, construction, operation, and the end life of buildings. And thinking that this sustainable construction means residential and non-residential buildings that create value by improving quality of life of people and balancing social, economic, and environmental factors throughout the whole life cycle. So it's important to mention that we think that sustainable construction are buildings that create value because they have better habitability, better sale and lease prices, low environmental impacts, and lower operation costs throughout the whole life cycle. So it's very important for the economy and also for people who live and play in them. But if we have a life cycle perspective and we look at the whole value chain, we can see that there are many stakeholders on each of the parts of this value chain, and they have all different problems. So we try to identify which problem exists, and we found out that there are three main common problems in the sector. The first gap has to be with standard. There is a common perception of a lack of clarity and flexibility of current standards that is going against innovation in the building industry. Also, there is another gap of offer because all the stakeholders that are part of the design and planification and the construction of projects have very poor communication between them, and there is a lack of synergies, of possibilities of collaboration between them. And also there is a low perception and valuation of green building benefits from the demand, from the consumers. All these problems are communication and joint problems in the value chain that we need to address in order to develop a better and greener industry in the construction sector. So, for our Green Building Innovation Program, the second stage was to work with different stakeholders to create a common work plan. So we have this diagnostic, we have the gaps identified, and now we need to address those gaps. So collaboration is key in order to really address all these problems and working together to develop a better industry and to strengthen the value chain. So we have private and public corporations partnering with universities, with research centers, with retailers, with energy providers, and also with different companies and different government institutions. The general objective of this program is to encourage the development of a sustainable construction industry in Chile, to promote an economic development that respects the environment, placing the country as a Latin American leader in the field through the implementation of promotion mechanisms and also the articulation of public and private initiatives that will exploit existing market opportunities, improving the competitiveness of the various companies that are part of the construction value chain. So we see that we have very important market opportunities, and we need to work together in order to have the most profit of them. So we define three main specific objectives. The first one is about standards. We aim to facilitate dialogue, forums, and feedback between stakeholders in order to accelerate standard modifications that are necessary to encourage sustainable construction, and also creating incentives for sustainability in new building projects. In the area of offer, we need to strengthen sustainable construction offer through the promotion of knowledge and communication between the stakeholders. And related to demand, we aim to strengthen demand for green buildings as a mechanism to trigger the transformation of the whole value chain by providing information for decision making and also promoting consumer access to existing offers. All of this is supported by providing information, technical and also information to the consumers. So we have three main areas for gap removal. The first one has to be with standards, the second offer, and the third demand. In the area of standards, there are four main initiatives to be developed. First, an action plan to adapt the standards and their application, trying to improve how standard works and how they can be applied in a better way to improve innovation. Also, another initiative is related to the development of strategies for municipal incentives to green buildings in order to have local governments trying to increase the number of green buildings in their municipalities. Also, another important initiative is the development of a label for sustainable dwelling, trying to bring all the information that consumers need into decision making. And also a green building advertising regulation that will try to reduce all the problems related to greenwashing and the bad use of concepts like sustainability and energy efficiency in properties. In the area of offer, we have five main initiatives. And it's important to mention that there are many stakeholders involved in the area of offers, so it's kind of hard to find out all the needed initiatives for them. The first action is a framework system for green building financing that aims to have new tools that can allow the provision of green mortgage or other kind of incentive that comes from banks or other financial institutions. Also, there is a sustainability checklist that will be provided by Portal Inmobiliario, which is an online platform for real estate transactions where people can find out all the sustainability attributes that their property have and use the sustainability attribute as another factor for decision making. Another initiative is a green building network that all the real estate developers can join and work together for a better offer of green buildings. Also, there is a guide for green building real estate developers doing by themselves, and it's step-by-step guidelines for how to do a better green building build. And also, there is the promotion and strengthening of the Certificación Edificio Sustentable, which is the first rating tool for buildings for public use done in Chile. In the area of demand, we have three main initiatives that are aimed to educate the final client, the consumers that are behind green buildings. So the first initiative joined together many companies to providing information in a campaign called Vive Sustentable, which is sustainable living, and it's an educative campaign to encourage people to prefer green building. Other initiative is Construye Solar, which is a kind of solar decathlon where different universities compete, presenting their own sustainability projects, and will be constructed in a park. So we will have 10 prototypes of very innovative houses that people can visit and understand that green buildings are affordable and are near them. And also a platform that can provide cost-benefit information of the introduction of new technologies of green buildings. So they can evaluate possibilities for retrofitting or other improvements that they can do to their existing homes. All these campaigns will follow by a tiny pet that will be educating children specifically about the benefits of green buildings. So as you can see, we have 12 central initiatives, all of them led by different institutions that in a model of collaboration are working together in order to improve the industry and have a more sustainable value chain. So that we are starting the third stage, probably the most difficult one, because we need to implement all the actions that we have defined in our plan. But this implementation, based on a collaboration strategy, allows to accelerate the transition to a sustainable building industry, improving the competitiveness of the different companies that conform the value chain. Thank you very much.